everyone, welcome back to Finance Manager. I'm Emma, and today we're talking about something millions secretly struggle with every single day. Maybe you're 30, completely debt-free, working hard every day, yet somehow it still feels like you're falling behind. Every morning begins with good intentions, but comparison quietly sneaks into your life before breakfast even ends.
Someone just bought a house. Another friend started a company. Someone else is already retiring early.
Meanwhile, you're wondering what you're doing wrong, even though you've actually done something incredibly difficult already.
You paid off every dollar you owed, but somehow your brain refuses to celebrate that incredible achievement. The truth is, debt-free isn't the finish line. It's actually one of the strongest starting points you could ever have.
But social media rarely celebrates stability. It celebrates speed, luxury, and dramatic success stories instead. Jake sees Sarah posting another exciting milestone, never realizing he's comparing his everyday life to someone else's highlight reel.
Here's something we rarely hear. Financial peace often looks boring from the outside, but it's incredibly powerful underneath.
Instead of appreciating his freedom, Jake keeps measuring his Chapter 3 against someone else's Chapter 10.
And today, I'm going to show you why feeling behind doesn't always mean you're actually behind at all.
Because success isn't one giant leap. It's usually thousands of quiet decisions nobody else ever notices until years later.
Today, I want you to forget everyone else's timeline for just a few minutes and focus completely on your own.
One mentor once said that financial freedom grows quietly, like a tree whose strongest roots stay hidden underground. While everyone notices the branches, almost nobody appreciates the years spent building the roots first.
By the end of this video, I hope you'll stop asking, "Am I behind?" and start asking, "What's my next step?" Let's begin by discovering why your greatest financial advantage may already be something you've completely overlooked. Let's start with one simple truth. Being debt-free at 30 already puts you further ahead than you probably realize.
Millions of people wake up every day carrying payments that quietly steal their future before breakfast even begins.
Jake doesn't owe anyone money anymore, yet somehow he still feels like he's losing a race that never actually ends.
Most people think wealth begins with earning more money. In reality, it often begins by needing less of it. Sarah's glamorous lifestyle looks perfect online, but every beautiful picture tells only part of the story. Comparison only shows you someone's highlights. It almost never shows you their monthly payments, worries, or sleepless nights. For the first time in years, Jake realizes every paycheck now belongs to his future instead of his past.
Imagine planting a tree every month instead of paying interest. Eventually, the forest becomes impossible to ignore.
Financial freedom isn't about impressing strangers. It's about giving yourself choices when life suddenly changes. Lisa used her debt-free position to leave a comfortable job and build something she truly believed in. Debt doesn't only cost money. Sometimes it quietly steals confidence, flexibility, and even your willingness to take healthy risks. Jake finally stops scrolling for a moment and begins writing down what success actually means to him. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They measure their progress using someone else's scoreboard instead of their own.
One person celebrates buying a luxury car, while another quietly celebrates sleeping peacefully because they owe nobody anything.
Stop counting what others have. Start counting the freedom you've already earned.
The people who build lasting wealth rarely look like they're winning every single day. They're simply staying consistent.
A tiny investment repeated for years can eventually outperform moments of excitement that disappear almost overnight.
Next, let's uncover the invisible habits that quietly separate financially confident people from everyone constantly chasing the next milestone. So what actually separates people who build wealth from people who constantly feel behind? Surprisingly, it isn't usually income.
Real financial confidence usually grows from ordinary routines, repeated so often they almost become invisible.
Jake starts changing one tiny habit instead of trying to change his entire life overnight.
Tiny improvements may feel insignificant today, but compound over years into extraordinary results that surprise almost everyone. The richest habit isn't spending less. It's making thoughtful decisions without letting emotions stay in charge.
When your emotions control your money, your future becomes unpredictable. When your habits do, your future becomes much clearer. After only a few weeks, Jake notices something unexpected. His confidence is growing even faster than his savings account. That's because progress isn't only measured by numbers. Sometimes the biggest return is finally sleeping peacefully at night.
Improve just 1% every day, and eventually your future won't even recognize the person you used to be.
A single drop of water seems tiny, yet over time it can reshape solid stone through relentless consistency.
People often overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 month and underestimate what consistency creates over 10 years.
Without realizing it, Jake has completely stopped comparing himself to strangers because he's finally competing with yesterday's version of himself.
Here's something that changed my perspective forever. Contentment and ambition are not enemies. They actually work best together.
You can appreciate how far you've come while still feeling excited about everything that's waiting ahead.
For the first time, Jake celebrates paying off his debt instead of feeling embarrassed that someone else bought a bigger house.
The happiest financially successful people I've met weren't obsessed with looking rich. They were obsessed with staying free.
Freedom means choosing work because you enjoy it, not because tomorrow's bills leave you no other option.
In the next chapter, you'll discover why building real wealth starts inside your mind long before it appears in your bank account. Money follows behavior far more often than luck. That's why lasting wealth usually begins with a different way of thinking.
Two people can earn exactly the same income, yet create completely different futures through the choices they repeat every week.
Jake no longer asks, "Can I afford this?" He starts asking, "Will this move me closer to my future?"
The question isn't whether something is expensive. The better question is whether it's worth trading your future for today.
Every dollar you keep working for your future becomes another employee quietly building wealth while you sleep.
The wealthiest investment you can make isn't always in the stock market. Sometimes it's in becoming more valuable yourself. Lisa didn't become more successful because she worked longer hours. She became more valuable by learning skills that solved bigger problems. The highest paying investment often has nothing to do with money. It's investing in your own knowledge, discipline, and character.
Money lost can be earned again. Time lost is the one investment you never get back.
Imagine receiving 144,000 seconds every day. That's exactly what time quietly gives every single one of us.
Every hour you invest in learning today can continue paying dividends long after today's paycheck has already been spent.
Instead of spending another evening scrolling endlessly, Jake spends 1 hour learning an entirely new professional skill.
Patience may not feel exciting, but in personal finance, it's one of the biggest competitive advantages you can ever develop.
Nature reminds us that the strongest forests never appear overnight. They grow quietly, season after season.
Months later, Jake earns his first promotion. The raise feels wonderful, but his confidence is the real reward. Notice what changed. Jake didn't become happier because he earned more. He became happier because he became someone different.
Income can change your lifestyle, but your mindset determines whether that lifestyle actually lasts for decades.
Now let's explore how defining your own version of success can completely transform the way you build wealth and happiness. Here's a question that completely changed how I think about money. What does success actually mean to you?
For some people, success means owning a mansion. For others, it simply means having dinner with family every evening.
Jake realizes he's been chasing someone else's dream
without ever asking what would genuinely make him happy.
When your goals match your values, money stops becoming the destination and starts becoming a powerful tool instead.
The happiest people rarely own everything. They simply know what's truly important and protect it with intention.
Because once you stop competing with everyone else, you'll finally have enough energy to build the life you actually want.
The world will always offer you someone else's definition of success. Wisdom is deciding whether to accept it.
There's nothing wrong with wanting more. Just make sure the life you're building actually belongs to you.
That evening, Jake writes something he has never written before. A vision for his own future instead of a list of things he wanted to impress other people. Clarity changes everything. Once you know where you're going, saying no becomes much easier. Every decision becomes easier when it supports a future you've intentionally chosen instead of one you've accidentally inherited.
For the first time in years, Jake isn't worried about where everyone else is. He's excited about where he's going.
You don't need to become someone else to build a successful life. You simply need to become a better version of yourself, one decision at a time.
The people who seem to move forward the fastest usually aren't making perfect decisions. They're simply making consistent ones.
A year ago, Jake believed he was falling behind. Today, he realizes he was simply building a stronger foundation than he could see.
Real wealth isn't measured by how impressive your life looks from the outside. It's measured by how peaceful it feels on the inside.
Because the goal was never to become richer than everyone else. The goal was to become freer than yesterday.
And that's when Jake finally understood something that most people spend their entire lives chasing. He was never behind. He was simply on his own path.
If you've made it this far, I want you to remember one thing. Your timeline doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be successful.
Some people reach their goals at 25. Others discover their purpose at 45. Neither journey is wrong. Looking back, I never remember the moments I felt behind. I remember the moments I kept moving forward.
The only person you need to be ahead of is the version of yourself who gave up yesterday.
5 years later, Jake isn't living someone else's dream anymore. He's living the one he intentionally built.
Success isn't arriving before everyone else. Success is arriving at a life that finally feels like your own. Maybe you're 30, maybe you're 40, maybe you're starting over today. None of that determines your future. What you choose next does.
Every great journey begins the same way, with one small decision followed by another, and then another.
Jake never became the richest person he knew, but he became something far more valuable, someone who truly enjoyed the life he had built. So if you've been feeling behind, I hope you leave today remembering this. You're not late. You're still writing your story.
Your future isn't decided by yesterday's comparison. It's created by today's choices and tomorrow's consistency.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. If this story encouraged you, please subscribe to Finance Manager. Give this video a like and click the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Until next time, keep building your future, one smart decision at a time. Now that you've built the right mindset, let's talk about something equally important: making your money work for you instead of working forever for money.
Most people think wealth comes from earning more, but history shows that keeping, growing, and investing wisely.
Jake no longer celebrates every paycheck. He celebrates every investment that quietly builds tomorrow.
Financial freedom rarely arrives because of one brilliant decision. It usually arrives because of thousands of ordinary ones.
Consistency is quiet. That's why so many people underestimate its power until years have passed.
The goal isn't to impress people for one weekend. It's to create options for the next 30 years. The most powerful force in wealth building isn't speed. It's giving your good decisions enough time to multiply.
Think of every wise financial decision as planting another seed. One seed won't change your life, but a forest eventually will.
Years pass, and Jake notices something surprising. Wealth didn't arrive with fireworks. It It arrived quietly, one ordinary month at a time.
Money can buy comfort, but time, freedom, and peace of mind are the true rewards of building wealth with patience.
Financial freedom isn't the finish line. It's the moment life becomes guided by purpose instead of pressure.
And once money stops controlling your decisions, something amazing happens. You finally have the freedom to focus on what truly matters. When you stop measuring your life against everyone else's, something remarkable happens. You finally begin noticing how far you've already come. Consistent effort builds the bridge between today's actions and tomorrow's opportunities.
Jake opens the notebook where this journey began. Instead of unfinished dreams, he finds completed milestones and brand new goals waiting for him.
The finish line keeps moving. That's why happiness can't depend on reaching it. It has to come from enjoying the journey.
Real financial freedom isn't about having everything. It's about needing less and appreciating more.
Our journey is almost complete. But before we finish, there's one final lesson that brings everything together. If you've watched this entire journey, you've probably realized something important. This story was never really about Jake. It was about you.
Every person you've seen represents a choice. Every choice represents a future that hasn't been written yet. Jake finally understands that wealth isn't something he reached. It's something he practiced every single day.
You don't need permission to start over. You don't need perfect timing. You only need today's decision.
The smallest step you take today can become the biggest reason that your future self thanks you.
Your financial journey doesn't begin when you become wealthy. It begins the moment you become intentional.
Years from now, you probably won't remember the exact balance in your account. You'll remember the freedom those choices gave you.
Every sunrise is proof that life always offers another beginning.
Maybe your first step today is making a budget. Maybe it's paying off one debt. Maybe it's simply believing your future can still change.
You are not behind. You are not too late. And your story is far from over.
Jake smiles because he finally understands that the richest life isn't built by racing other people. It's built by becoming the person you wanted to be.
If this story changed the way you think about money, then it has already done something far more valuable than making you richer.
Because changing the way you think is where every lasting transformation begins.
One decision, one habit, one day at a time. That's how extraordinary lives are built. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. I truly hope this story stays with you long after this video ends. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to Finance Manager, leave a like, and turn on the notification bell. We create stories that help you build lasting wealth, smarter habits, and a better future.
Remember, you're not behind. You're just getting started. We'll see you in the next story.